Wire strippers are an essential tool for doing electrical installation work or electrical repair work, and there's a large variety and types of wire strippers on the market today. But common among most wire strippers, there's going to be 5 essential features that you'll find within them. Today we're going to be talking about those 5 different features, how to use them effectively to get the most out of your wire stripper. We're also going to be cutting on 3 different types of wire, and they require a little bit different technique on each one in order to strip them effectively. Let's get started. Wire strippers will generally have some type of a plier head on them, and they can range in sizes from very small to very large and robust depending on the model and brand that you have. They can be used for manipulating wire, for bending hooks, for bending loops, and they're really great at using them to break off tabs on both electrical outlets and electrical switches. Below the plier tip on most general use pliers, you'll find a concave section, more of a smooth jaw plier that can be used for a number of different things. I like to use them for bending and manipulating wire when I don't want to mar the wire itself with the teeth of the pliers. And they can also be used in some cases for lightweight crimpers, though they're not as effective as a true standard crimper because they're so far away from the fulcrum that they just don't produce a very good crimp. The key feature to any wire stripping tool are the wire strippers themselves. And here in the United States, we use the American wire gauge scale. On the body of your tool, you'll find 2 different scales, one for American wire gauge solid wire and the other for stranded wire. Now those will range in sizes generally from 18 gauge to 10 gauge on the solid scale and 20 gauge to 12 gauge on the stranded scale. Different types of wire, though, require a little bit different technique on how to cut them cleanly and effectively. And today I'm going to show you the techniques that I use on those different types of wires. Of the 3 types of wire that we'll be looking at today, Romex or solid wire is by far the easiest to strip. It simply requires the user to pierce the insulation, make 1/4 turn with the pliers, and then slide the insulation off. The solid wire offers very little resistance to removing the jacketing. Thermoplastic high heat resistant nylon, better known as THHN, is coated with a PVC coating and then a thin nylon jacket. Now, one of the redeeming qualities of this type of cable is its resistance to abrasion. This property, combined with the larger surface area of the insulation that is in contact with the stranded copper core, requires a slightly different technique to remove the insulation cleanly. If we attempted to strip this insulation in the same manner that you do Romex or solid core wire, more often than not, it's going to produce a very poor result. To do this type of insulation or to strip this type of wire, we'll first start with our pliers tilted at about 10 to 15 degrees. Then we can pierce the insulation and in one motion snap the pliers back to their straight position. This will effectively separate the insulation. Now, because the stranded copper core offers more resistance, we have to move our pliers up, re-grab the insulation with our pliers a little higher up, get a good grip on it, and then we can slide the insulation from the copper core. And this is the method that I found that works best for stripping THHN. S-cable or SJ cable is the type of cable that you'll find in extension cords. It is also a stranded copper core, but it has much finer strands. This lends to the flexibility that you'll find in extension cords. Now, it uses an elastomer coating on the insulation for this type of wire, and so we have to use a slightly different method to strip this one effectively. The most effective method that I have found is to simply choose the proper gauge, pierce the wire, rotate it back and forth slightly, about 1/4 turn in each direction, and then release the pliers, move up to the next gauge, grab the cable again so that we're not scraping the wire as we're removing the insulation. If you go to a higher gauge, now you're just pulling on the insulation itself, and it generally strips a little cleaner. Now, this takes a little bit of force because that stranded wire offers a little bit of resistance, but this is the cleanest method that I have found for stripping S and SJ cables. Wire strippers will also have some type of a cutter on them used for cutting copper wire. And they can range in styles and sizes. So you can either have a bypass cutter or you can have an anvil type cutter. Sometimes they'll have a curved cutting edge to them, and sometimes they'll just be straight. But generally, they're built long enough so that they will cut through common residential wiring, non-metallic, also known as Romex. The next feature that's going to be pretty common to most every wire stripper out there are going to be their loop forming holes. Now, generally you'll find these just below the wire strip gauges. Sometimes they can be in different locations, but as a general rule, that's where most manufacturers put them. Now, what these are used for is to create quick, tight loops whenever you have to attach wire to a screw type connector. These are types of connectors that you'll find on the backs of receptacles or on light switches. And the way you do this is just insert your wire. I like to do it so it bypasses to the other side of the jaw about a 1/16 of an inch, and then you can just rotate your pliers around in order to form a nice uniform and non-scratched or non-marred loop. Then if you need to make a quick adjustment to it, you can always use the plier tip, the non-marring plier tips at the top, in order to either close or open those loops to get them to the proper dimension for the screw that you're going to be connecting to. The last common feature to most wire strippers are going to be their bolt shears. And on most wire strippers, you're going to have two different hole sizes, one for 632 bolts and one for 832 bolts, actually machine screws. And the 6 and the 8 refer to the sizes of the screws themselves. The 32 on each of those is the thread count per inch for those machine screws. And those are common coarse thread machine screws found in electrical work, whether that be on receptacles or switches or boxes. Now, if you have a bolt that's too long, you can thread it into the proper size hole and then use the pliers to shear that bolt off to size. Now, because it's threaded in, you'll use a screwdriver to extract it, and when you do, it recuts the sheared side or the sheared edge of that bolt so that the threads fix themselves on the way out, and that way when you go to use the screw, it will fit perfectly. Now, there are other types of wire strippers on the market, like automatic wire strippers, which are really great because you don't have to use different techniques in order to strip the insulation off of different styles of wire. There are also wire strippers that include additional features, some that will include integrated crimpers, some that will include multiple integrated crimpers, and other features that you may not find within the vast majority of wire strippers on the market. Choosing the right one that's going to work for your application is key. I personally like this pair of Kleins. This is called the Klein Curve. It's one of my go-to favorites. This is the K11095. And all the tools that you've seen in this video, I'll leave links down below so that if there's anything that you like or that you're interested in, you can easily find it. My name is Ben. You've been watching the Texas Tool Crib. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next one.